Hey guys, welcome back to the series. Hey, today I'm just gonna actually just clean this paint up a little bit. I'm gonna just leave that side nasty, grimy, leave it alone, and I'll do a little bit of a montage of a before and after. I want to make sure that this paint, this side's pretty bad. You got more pitting and more things like that. Sorry for the wind. It's a real windy day. It's a little cool out, but I want to take care of this paint. I want to try to get you guys as many videos as possible. I have been hearing your guys' feedback. I did put my lights on this time so you can kind of see the reflection of the paint and everything. Right now it is just nasty and everything's just blowing over right now because it's real windy. I might just do some voiceover on this. I might cut this completely out. I got 2 other cameras going on, and we're gonna work our way. This is my neighborhood. Sorry for the dogs barking. But yeah, let's get into it. Main thing is I want to use spray to get this dust off. You can kind of see where there's a line on this hood right here. That's where the tarp was actually over the entire thing but the front end. So I want to get that all taken care of and go from there. I want to work my way basically just the hood today. Try to get you guys a video, get you guys, learning how or what the difference is between stage 1 paint and then paint that's got clear coat on it. I want to work my way into teaching you guys that. I might go into my office and actually draw on the whiteboard and stuff like that, and just get you guys kind of up to date on what's going on with the difference in paint, how to take care of it, things like that. First things first, let's wipe this thing down and let's start there. I don't want any of this grime that's on here. As you can see, it's coming off green and nasty and stuff. That is part of the paint coming off. I always look at, as you can tell how dirty this is. I kept it as dirty as possible for you guys. I am gonna go through this in stages. Of course, like I said, I'm gonna do the hood and I'll do the fenders, do the body. I want to preserve, and I'll kind of show you guys how to preserve the door and things like that on there where the HAH ranch is, things like that. Again, sorry for the wind. I'm hoping it's going to be pretty good. I got my little fuzzy Madonna mic, but let's start by cleaning this off. First things first, I'm just going to grab a couple towels. And then with a couple towels, I'm going to grab just window cleaner just because I want the alcohol in this, and I'm going to really kind of soak this down. And then I'm going to kind of go through it in stages, and we'll kind of see where we should stop, especially with this old paint. This part right here is kind of the original color, and then this is the ranch color is what I believe. In the last video, if you haven't seen that, just kind of a backstory on this truck and kind of working my way around and teaching you guys and going along with that and going from there. So let's start by getting this guy all prepped up. I'm gonna just get it kind of, and you'll see it get really dark, and this is what you will kind of see once. Get this bird poop off. And again, sorry for the wind, sorry for everything. I'm just gonna try to get this done. And it's not to just throw a video out because I want to teach you guys, but it's just to kind of start our adventure here with us. But you can kind of see, whenever I use something like any type of cleaning product, if I have a fresh paint and it is all nice and clean, as you can tell, I'm just kind of dragging this towel on here. What you really want to do is you can kind of see how it's all bundled up in one spot. What I would do, what I've learned over the years, is you start where the rag is fully on there, and as you go, you kind of rotate your hand, and then you can kind of see it kind of rotates and balls all the dirt up at the end. It just basically minimizes scratches, but we're not stressing about that too much since we're going to be polishing this. And use all, I like to say 4 sides. I try not to use, especially on this type of paint where it's just so bad, I try not to utilize the fuzzy side of the rag, but just kind of get it all wiped down on this. It's gonna feel really gross because you're gonna feel every little hit, and you can kind of hear it, I think. It's very, how I like to say is crunchy. It just kind of crunches as you go over it. The paint's just so tatered.
You caught me. You caught the tater.
And just so, you know, so worn down that, you know, you can see this is a different, the paint flaked off in this area. I don't know why. This is the, not the original paint, but the ranch color paint. And then this part is bleeding into the actual holly green paint, which is really kind of a bluish green. So we're gonna just try to let this dry. The products I'm gonna be using, of course, is the stuff that I've been working with for a long time. Main thing is what I'm gonna start with is an extreme compound. V32, it's like 32,000 grit is how you kind of break it down. 32,000 grit with, and it's wet, so it'll kind of smooth itself out. I go from 32, again, 3200, and then it goes 34, 36 to 38. From 38, it's pretty flat. And it kind of plays along with your pads as well. The pads that I use are from Chemical Guys and everything. My polisher is an absolute mess. The polisher has an orange pad on it. The orange pad is not the most aggressive, but the most aggressive in the kit. Everything will be linked in the description below. And you just want to basically just take your time. Work in a small area, watch your edges. This is a sharp edge, and this is why when you kind of come and look at this, it's also very, the paint has been worn through just from, you know, being an edge for one, but also just kind of, you know, polishing, hitting it. I have polished this before. It was ages ago, and it sat outside, and it would get early sun and would probably not get shade until about 12. So it was, and it would get all, I mean, from, sorry for the wind again, but it would just get ruined in the sun. So again, we're gonna try to work our way. I think I'm gonna try to do small stages to kind of show you as I go along. I think I'll compound the entire thing, and then I'll tape off an area to where I won't touch that anymore, and I'll go to the next polish in that, or going down in the side, or in a, going down in, you know, a compound to a polish, and then I'll just show you the difference between all of them. And then I'm gonna leave that entire side to where we start, or from where we started, where it was just nasty, left alone. And then we're gonna work our way to finished product. We'll go from there. So let me grab my polish, which I have my polish already, my polisher. Of course, it looks really bad right now. I just cleaned it. I'm sorry, I cleaned the pad. This is the orange pad. This is the most aggressive of pads that you can get in the kit. It's just a hard pad. And it's aggressive to where whatever product you put on it, it's gonna dig into the paint. And that's the thing, is a lot of people need to understand that when you polish, you are removing, especially stage one, and you'll see it, this pad will turn green. You are removing the dead skin basically off the paint, or the dead paint off of this, and that's why it gets real shiny. But over time, you are removing so much paint that you are gonna get smooth, yes, but you are also gonna you're gonna remove that paint to where there's no paint left. So you need to be very careful. Since this is my kind of dream truck, and I like the patina look, I don't care. But this is also kind of the, you know, where we're gonna start and kind of work our way down to show you guys, you know, hey, this is, you might not want to start with compound. I always start with an orange pad just to go from there. Now with stage one, if we're talking about paint with clear on it and things like that, I try to do my best to never use compound. I do use an orange pad because it does kind of grind into it. But I try to use what's called a V34, which is the next step. And it's a hybrid between a polish and a compound, so it's not as aggressive as a 32, because when you start actually using this, I wish this out is bad right now, because the little ASMR of actually hearing it would probably benefit everybody, because you can kind of hear there's like grains of material in it that break down as the polisher is used, and it'll over time it'll break itself down. One thing is as well, this is a DA, dual action is what I believe is what it stands for. Someone can fact check me. But basically the polisher not only spins, but it also is thrown. So it rotates in a orbit basically. So not only does it spin, but as it's spinning, it throws. So I think it's throwing, I want to say it was only like, I think this is a 6.5 inch pad. So I think it throws 8 inches all the way across, where from this side to this side is roughly an inch. And then of course it spins, and so it's maybe not, you can fact check me, I'm okay with that. I'm not, again, I'm trying to just show you what I use. And we're gonna go from there. Of course, this is my truck, and I want you to just kind of see, and I'll go from different angles and stuff like that. And I'm sorry if the camera's real jumpy, it's real windy out right now and it sucks. So let's get started. How I like to prep my pad is very simple. Again, this is kind of for everybody who knows how to polish and stuff. You kind of do dots all the way around, and a dot in the middle. I like to do that too, but with a fresh pad or a clean pad, I just clean this, is I like to put dots and a line through it, and then I like to take my finger and I like to actually rub this in a little bit and kind of go like that. And start with that first, and then of course take this, get it off to the side so you're not gonna vibrate it off of your hood, because this will vibrate it'll vibrate a lot from this. You are gonna throw material around. As you can tell, I just already got myself dirty. But the main thing is work in a small area. I'm gonna work in probably this little area here, anywhere from 12 inches, 12 by 12 inches, or 24 by 24, depending on how flat your surface is. I could probably stretch this to 24 or 2 feet by 2 feet, but I don't like reaching. I like to try to keep the pad flat at all times. And as you can see, I put it down and I lift up and it'll leave material. If you don't tap it, which I'll do, and sorry for the banging, but if you tap it like this, it's going to put some of that material down, and you don't want that to fling, so just make sure you do that. And then you'll see me kind of work it in, and then I'll probably come back and add more material, or the 32, and we'll go from there. But let's see what 32 does. I'm gonna try not to hit any of the edges, because the edges burn or remove a lot faster, so let's start there. All right, guys, Oh, sorry, my neighbor stopped by. We had a hailstorm last night, and he put some of his toys in here and saved the day. You know what I mean? Anyway, so as you could tell, how dirty and how much paint comes off while using compound. Like I said, compound removes. Everything is going to be basically removed. A lot of people don't understand when you even polish metal and you're sitting there polishing, either the metal has gained material from the environment or has either gained material from the environment or has just gotten rust or whatever. And whenever you polish it, it always comes out black or some type of color, green if it's a copper. What that is doing is it's actually removing that material. And in metal, you're removing, nano, very, very little. Now on paint, you are removing with compound quite a bit. But as you can see how much shinier this is, it's also tackier and it's warm because you are causing friction, and that's what is taking this off. So I just want everybody to know, like, hey, you are taking off material, and we're gonna go from there. And I'm gonna move myself forward, of course. This part is pretty much, in the sense of just this part, is done. I always try to go, in the beginning, I try to go back and forth. As you go back and forth, go half a pad up. The faster you go, the less it's going to grind. So anytime on the edges, try to always kind of feather your way, is what I call it, or lightly kind of touch it and kind of move the pad in the same direction as the body. But always cross yourself. So if I start here and the pad, and the pad ends here, what I like to do is I like to take the pad and put it like that. So you are constantly crossing over yourself. Yes, it takes longer, and yes, you're taking, but also go a little bit faster. Don't ever turn on your machine and sit. If you do that, you'll burn a hole straight through the paint. You can kind of see on this, there's lighter colors as we go along, and I feel like that's either someone sprayed really close or really far. Either that's a high spot, and a high spot is basically as you spray and you feather like this part is considered a high spot, which is part of the where your spray nozzle is. This part is, and it's micro, but it's a high spot because you are spraying most likely this, and you will see as you, especially with stage 1 paint, you will see the difference in spraying or their spray, because you'll see it where it's called zebraing, where right now if you kind of look, once I polish this, you'll kind of see it's dark here, then it goes to the lighter green, then it's dark, lighter green, dark, and so they sprayed like this. And what that means is basically they sprayed heavy here, but they didn't spray heavy here, and then they sprayed heavy here, and then they lightly sprayed here, and then heavy here, and lightly, so they were crossing over themselves, but they weren't doing it as well. So as time and as the sun and as everything has worn off the paint, which gives it that factor, of course, but in professional painting and things like that, and it depends on the gun, it depends on the settings on the gun, it depends on the air, it depends on how much moisture is in the air. I mean, there's so many variables, but basically this is zebra now, to where a professional painter would look at this and be like, oh, that was done on the farm, which kind of aligns with what's going on. But yeah, so it's not a big deal. We're gonna probably clear coat this thing, keep this old paint. I love the color. And then maybe one day when we get some money and we get some stuff going on and this thing is built up the way I want it to be built up, yeah, we'll probably send it down the road and get the metal all perfect and everything like that. I mean, how can you not? You know what I mean? So of course you can kind of see. Don't let your pad sit in one spot. Yes, heat is okay. Like today, the little bit of cool weather helps to kind of go from there. When it's hot, you don't ever want the car in the sun. Especially black cars, it's called flashing, where basically when you're done, this kind of burns into the paint, and it's not good. So let's not do that. Again, these are all my little tips and tricks. I don't consider myself a professional in any way, shape, or form. You know, I do know quite a bit, but I'm not a professional. So as you can see, this is the pad. It was orange, a light orange, and it has gotten the material on there. I have to clean this off. I do have a pad cleaner. I'll link that too. My pad cleaner is pretty awesome. You kind of push down on it and shoots water up, and as you turn it on, and it kind of flings all this stuff out. I'll make a video on that as well, and we'll go from there. All right, let me clean the pad and we'll be right back. All right, so back with my clean pad. Everything's kind of wet, of course. I have never ran into an issue with this polisher. It is a Chemical Guys polisher. I think it's the Torque 22, 22D, I believe is what it is. I really like this polisher. The reason why I like this polisher is when you start off, it starts off kind of slow and gains its momentum, and then you just have a digital to read out. You don't have to actually sit there and rotate a dial. It's kind of personal preference is really what it is. I am going to get one that is really small just so we can get into smaller areas without hitting the edge. Of course, not on this car, but on, you know, trucks or, you know, there's little pieces everywhere. Headlights is another big part is if the headlight is a very small headlight, it kind of takes a little bit of time to, with this, you're going to have to hit an edge and kind of rotate with it, as you can see in my other videos. But yeah, so cleaned it with my pad cleaner. I'll go through that as well with you. What I do is I basically push it down, sprays water as it's on, and it flings out all the dirt in the two parts of the bucket. I'll make a video on it if you guys want. It's kind of an interesting tool. Cuts down a lot of time, and we'll go from there. But let me get my polish. Again, since we started, the pad is now kind of wet. So what I'll do is you can kind of see that this needs quite a bit of material to get that, well, I always keep calling it dead skin, but get that surface that is dead on here to get it shiny. I want to do my best into removing it as fast as possible. This is another technique where you do dots or do lines, especially if the paint is really, really dry. Again, stage 1 paint only, especially with compound. And again, this is the DA, so it kind of throws it. So it's going to take more material and trap it. If it's a rotary where it spins only one direction, it doesn't throw. That will take off material, but it also gets a lot more hot. So you do have to be careful with that because you could burn the paint even faster. Again, push down on it. Again, the old truck, she can take whatever I put on her. And again, just kind of work your way around. Okay. And then I try to throw this over my shoulder for nice cars. So this isn't picking up anything, dragging on the car and causing damage or anything like that you were causing again. I try to wear sweaters. If you're wearing a sweater, make sure that you don't have any of like some old school sweaters have like pieces of metal in it. You know, your little things have metal on it. Don't use those. I try not to even use these when I'm working with a polisher because it can get stuck and roll right up into you, and that'll hurt. In jeans, be careful because all jeans have the little metal pieces, and you can drag against that, so just be very careful. All right, so I tap this up and I spread the material. I'm going to start it on, it jumps to 15. I don't know if that's RPMs or what, but that's the first setting, and it's really slow. If you watch it in the beginning, it kind of starts up slow, and it kind of wants to spin and throw at the same time, and we're going to start there. All right, let's keep doing with the 32 polish, and we will work our way down, or I'm sorry, work our way up to a higher number. All right, y'all. Nasty. And basically, again, it's removing oxidized, burnt paint that should not be on this car. It could be also removing like older product that I put on there. One is wax. The wax technology is still pretty old. Carnauba wax, it's really good. It hydrates the paint. Don't get me wrong, it's still good stuff. It's just old technology where it embeds the atmosphere and everything like that onto the paint and holds it there. So it kind of gets that nasty kind of black, and it holds a lot of the shine and shimmer away. I'll kind of probably go over at the end of the video what we've done, and just draw it up on a whiteboard so everything kind of understands a little bit. It's kind of weird to say, oh yeah, why does this color come back? It's a little bit more than just, oh, we polish it. Let's get down to kind of like the nano side of everything and go from there. Again, let me wipe this off because I want to see where we're at. It's in good shape. I am now going to use the old towel that I have. That is really nasty from the beginning. I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, no, don't do that. It's old paint. It's a show car. It was a ranch truck. It sat outside. There's rust everywhere. There's this, that. Again, I'm just going to use some glass cleaner just to clean it off. And again, it's nothing crazy. When you do wipe it off, it's going to look cleaner, of course, than the first time. But it's also going to be stickier and smoother because we have taken those the material and we've scrubbed it off basically. A lot of old school guys, when they use they'll use like Scotch-Brite or steel wool, and they'll use dish soap and things like that. They are taking off that dead layer of skin. Now, in the moment when you wipe it off, especially with stage 1, it gives that very, very pretty shine. And then of course, once it dries, it's still shiny, but it's not as shiny as when it's wet. If you want that shine that is completely wet looking, or like your modern car, clear coat. You can do clear coat. You can do old school linseed oil. There's a bunch of videos online of linseed oil and things like that. Another one is sweet patina. I've seen a couple of videos of sweet patina where they put sweet patina on it, and it's a little bit more of a haze color, like it's as shiny, but a lot of the old school vehicles look really good in it because it's kind of what that recommended shine is. So yeah, this looks a lot better. It's smoother in the sense of where all the pinning is. You can see where my finger marks get kind of stuck on there. And of course those wipe away. But that is just compound. I'm gonna compound this really quick. I'm gonna wash off my pad again, start over. I should be able to get this hole to this edge. I just wanna try to get this done. I think I'm gonna tape sections off. It looks like I might do equally 4, so I will leave this one alone. Tape mark, go here, all the way to the edge with the next stage, which is the hybrid or V34. I'm sorry, yes, V34. Once I go to V34, I will mask the halfway point and I will polish it. The next, which is the hybrid polish. Hybrid polish or cutting polish is 36. I'll go to the edge of 36. And then once I get to the edge of 36, I will tape again, and then I'll do 38, which is the final prep polish. And I'll go to the complete edge, and then I'll go from there. And then what I'll do is I'll put a piece of tape probably in front of this edge so you can kind of see that edge, and I'll mark out which one is which. And I'll change out the pads as I go too, because an orange pad with 38 is really kind of aggressive. I want you guys to think of it as you're taking off dead layers of skin. 32 is taking off all the old dead skin. It's getting to, you know, the real good stuff, but it's not shiny. That's the one thing that we need to kind of go back to, is it's not shiny. It's shinier than, of course, that, but it's not the shiniest that it can be. When paint gets polished on and everything, there's mountains, valleys that you create. That's why when you see, it's called hologramming, you kind of see like it almost looks like it pulls off the paint and it's kind of these swirl marks. Those are actually scratches within the clear coat or within the itself. That needs a full paint correction. There's many videos on that. I'm just going to go through the process of what I do. I don't usually go straight to compound because you don't know how many times someone else has polished it, how many other times someone has done anything to their paint. So you always want to just err on the side of caution and kind of work your way that way. Again, try not to say as much, but let me do this one side here, and I'm gonna clean my pad out and everything, and we will keep kicking butt. All right, guys, so I'm gonna do this edge. I think I'm gonna be able to do the whole thing since it is very small. I'm not gonna go past this body line here just because I just wanna kind of get this before and after for you just a little bit faster. And we'll go from there. You'll kind of see that everything's kind of got like this weird shimmer to it. You'll probably see it in a different camera view. This different shimmer is actually the rust from the bottom coming through. Again, I want to kind of preserve all that. I know it sounds really weird. It's not a professional paint job in any way, shape, or form, but restoring paint is not an easy task. So, you know, you're going to nip everything. I know I do. You can kind of see this side's kind of ashy. It's very white. Compared to this is very healthy now, even though we've just, as we go on, kind of put the camera on each side as we go, it'll get better and better and better as we go. Of course, I'm going to still use my orange pad, just cleaned it, V32, which is really good. I like it. It kind of breaks itself down. Again, sorry for the noise. Hoping that my microphone is blocking a lot of it out. Another technique is, instead of patting it, you kind of just rub it in like this. And whatever works for you. I kind of do it when it's flat. I kind of pat it. When it's a long piece, I kind of streak it across. You're not going to hurt the paint, especially this paint. Stage 1. So, cool. Well, let's try to get this done.
Look on my face like I smell some piss.
All right, y'all. Just got done polishing with the compound orange pad. Again, I'm going to use glass cleaner since I want to show you raw. It's got a little alcohol in it, you know, things like that. I did the front too. I want to kind of show you guys like the different angles. But yeah, so I want to kind of, you can kind of see the difference in color and paint. As you can tell, it's coming off. I want to kind of scrub it. The reason why I want to scrub this off is for a couple reasons. One is I don't want any of the compound stuck in all the chips and everything like that. I want to be able to clean all this off, see the difference. There's the brown from the center part of the hood, and then the green from the material being pulled off. Again, I'm not being very meticulous with this. The reason why is it's my car, and I'm just trying to show you guys, you know, everything. I just want to show you the difference though. And again, it's so much better, but we can improve on it is the best part.
We can always do better.
So again, I'm going to tape this off. So when I tape this piece off, this is going to be basically just 32 compound. That's it. From 32 compound, we'll go to 34, and we'll do 34 in the whole thing. And then again, we'll go from 34, 34, 36. From 36, we will polish the whole thing with 36. And then at the very end, 38. And then we'll pull off, we'll put a tape line here, and we'll write down where everything is at. I want to kind of see where stage one kind of stops. I kind of want to just make sure, you know, we're not doing anything too crazy, and we're gonna go from there. Nothing too crazy though. All right, let me get through. Another thing with tape too, I didn't do it in any of my other videos. I didn't think it was actually like worth showing you guys this, but I don't want you guys ruining your own paint.
Do as I say, not as I do.
If the car's been repainted or anything like that, I would definitely do this, is get some lint from your shirt and then do that. I'm gonna go to the body line and go from there. Okay, I'm actually just gonna do this real quick. Do this again. It picks up a little bit of lint. I have dogs. Picks up dog hair.
Where my dogs at?
It's not paint, like fresh paint, so it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go about here. Here's your first one that is 32, which is compound, orange pad, and I'm gonna write all this down on here. So again, V32 with orange pad. Again, orange pad's most aggressive. 32 is compound, most aggressive. And you can hear the difference. It's still rough because of all the little pits and rust and things like that, just because the paint is old.
Loose skin and old balls, gross.
I have never seen a original paint that has been worked in the sun and everything like that look good. I've seen paint in all shapes and forms. I've seen garage kept muscle cars, and yes, they have better paint, of course, just because they're garage kept, they're out of the elements. Elements is 100% the big component on this. It is hard. Texas Elements alone takes paint out instantly. Now I do know that clear coated cars survive a little bit better just because it's a little bit more modern, got a little bit of UV protectant in it. But again, rough on paint, real rough on paint. Okay, so orange pad. Now we're gonna go away from the V32 and go to what is V34, which is a hybrid compound Another thing that you guys want to understand as well is when you are using pads, you are going to be missing material out of the pad, especially with something so rough. It is basically not only taxing, it takes away from this, but it also takes away from this.
Two birds, one stone.
It takes away from the pad. So the pad has got a little spot that's bare on it. It kind of is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know what I mean? Washed out the pad with the pad washer. And we are gonna go with, again, 32 hybrid compound, which is a less aggressive compound and more of a polish inside it, or smaller granules inside it. So again, think if it has sandpaper, the lower the number, the more grip and more removing it's going to be. Think of the higher the number is going to be less aggressive. When you do plastics and things like that, yeah, you want to start with, I think I started with a 240. Sometimes I even start not even there. Sometimes I go to just 600, just to kind of get that bite into the plastic for headlights. And then once you polish out the headlights, or once you get that part, then you work your way up to 800. From 800 to go to 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 3,500. You could keep going after that. You're really not doing much work. You're actually wasting paper at that point. But you can watch those on my other videos. But yeah, so basically, let me put some of this material down. I'm gonna put a little bit more since it's coming out thinner. And I'm gonna try to get that hole, since the spot is getting smaller and smaller since we've taken out this huge piece here. I'm gonna try to go further, so I add a little bit more material, but you gotta be a little bit quicker. That's one thing too, be a little bit quicker. Again, start off, turn it on, kind of move your way around, try not to fling anything. It's gonna happen. It's how it works, just you're gonna fling it. When you turn it on, don't sit in one spot. If someone comes up to talk to you, or do anything, don't sit there and look at them as the machine's on, because you're not going to be moving it. Just turn it off, pull it off, you know, talk to them. And once it's off all the way, you let it rest, put your hand underneath it so you're not scratching the paint. Try not to lean up against the car. Again, I'm kind of going with bad habits. Start with good habits and you kind of go longer without damaging cars. And we go from there. So let's, again, lowest setting, rub it all in, let the material spread out. Once the material's spread out, then you can kick it up. Clear coat, I try not to go above 35. It's good, which is my second to highest setting. It's not as fast, not as penetrating or heat-wise, temperature-wise of grinding in. With this, you can kind of go to town on it. I know it sounds weird. There's some contradicting things out there, but I try to see what works for me. All right, let's get this going. Guys, so that one was orange pad with 34, not 32, 34. I'm gonna rinse this all off. Orange pad is still aggressive. That's the one thing that we need to understand, is the orange pad is still aggressive. So it is going to not let the material work as hard. It's going to make the actual sponginess of the pad work a little bit more for you. Again, I'm cleaning this off with glass cleaner. A lot of people are gonna give me hate on it. I don't care. It's because I want to show you bare bone of what it is. Bare bone as in, you know, taking off all the material. I don't want any of the material to be left behind, because when I leave behind any material, it could contaminate this little science project I got going on. Again, so much better, but not a lot of people are going to tell the difference between this and that, just because it is really, really bad. It's really bad. It's not a big deal to me. I want to kind of show you guys the stages. There's really no difference between this one, other than in the reflection, I can kind of see my UFO lights. There's a spot in the middle of the UFO lights where you could put something like a spot in there to motion sensor, basically, to add a motion sensor to it. I can barely see it coming through now. Over here, it's just a big ball. I'm gonna try to catch that on camera as well and kind of show you. But before we do anything, tape time. Again, I want you guys to understand, I don't care about my paint, but please take care of yours. Do not go directly to it, because if the paint is not very well embedded into the metal, you need to pull the paint off. So, take your tape, rub it on your shirt, your pants, wherever. I'm gonna put it here. And I'm gonna go here, go down the body line. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Just like that. Okay. Now, you will see that if I go like this, again, don't forget to put some of that on there, put that here. I wanted to show everybody this body line of how smooth it is from one to the other. Can barely tell, but I'm going to put down on my mark here what this is. This was V34, because we go up, so I'm going to go up in here, okay, with a orange pad. So it's gonna feel a lot smoother. It's gonna feel like it's got lotion on it now. This is kind of still rough to me. You're basically taking off the dead skin, and now you're going to add some. Basically, how I look at 32 is you are exfoliating your skin with real like sand in it, or all natural coconut husks, things like that in it. And then this one is kind of like having like a face one. It's a little bit smoother. It's a little bit different now just because of the feel of it and everything. And we'll go from there. So now I'm gonna change up my gear a little bit. Gear is gonna go, of course, I'm gonna go up to 36. 36, I'm gonna go all the way to the edge again. With 36, and I'm going to change it to a white pad. White pad is, to me, is my medium pad. It's not aggressive. It's very, very soft, and it won't take as much material out as much as the 36 is not as aggressive either. So we're kind of working our way down in the chain, and we're going to just, the lower we go, the higher the number we go, the lower the dullness goes, and we're going to get more of a shine. So the dullness goes away, but the shyness goes up. And we're just going to keep working our way that way. Let me get my material and let's go from there. Again, I wanted to show you guys this, of how disgusting this gets, how black it gets. Actually, if you really look at it closely, it's got a green shimmer to it because we're removing, of course, green. But this is just the dead skin. This is white, so kind of giving you a side-by-side comparison. This was orange, not anymore. So yeah, this is just going to show you the comparisons of the difference in not only this guy, but difference from this guy. This is white. We're going to remove this guy, and then I'll clean it later because it's kind of gross. All right, guys, so white pad, just cleaned it. I'm gonna put it on here. I'm gonna remove all my stuff. I'm gonna try to go from clean rag to clean rag. I know it's a pain in the butt for me, in the sense of I hate cleaning towels. I got a bunch though, so I'm not stressing about it. But next, with a white pad all the way to the edge again, all the way to the edge, to this body line, we're gonna use a cutting polish now. So it's not a finishing polish, but think of it as the granules are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So we were at 32, think of it as like a size of a BB. And then at 34, we're getting a little bit smaller, and now we're at 36. So now think of it as the ball inside of a pen. So we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So let's work our way there. And again, we're gonna go from this tape all the way to the edge, and we're gonna see if we can get it shinier and shinier and shinier. All right, so I washed my pad out and I didn't get the water all out, so it's kind of vibrating a lot. But you can also see where it is really wet on the hood. I didn't stop for two reasons. One, water can kind of help you. It sounds really weird. It's not good for the machine. It's kind of not a good thing. But for me, I'm not gonna sit and stop halfway, especially on a big panel. You will make it uneven. Or uneven looking, but you don't want this to dry on the hood. This stuff it could turn into like concrete basically, or you're rubbing and scratching at the same time. So I'm going to do that, wipe this down, and I'm gonna wash it out, kind of start over, and hopefully this next time I get all the material out. All right, guys. So again, just to show you guys, this is going to be 36. This is a 36 towel. This is all from the pad getting wet, and it's still flinging out quite a bit, but it's the material more or less. I'm just gonna wipe this off on that side. Get my glass cleaner. Sorry, it is a little windy. Sorry. I'm gonna do this side as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the car. I'm gonna grab a new towel. So with a new towel, you can see how much material is still. Still all that material coming off though. It's all, again, it's very, very little compared to what it was. I don't see any other real shine to this. I almost see more shine with the orange pad in the 34 than I do here. It almost makes it the same look as the same look as the 32 compound and orange in an orange pad with white pad. So, and that's stage, you know, stage one paint is it'll surprise you sometimes. It looks better when you have a little bit more aggressive material to it. It kind of just gives that little bit richer, deeper kind of cut. Again, I'm going to tape it off, and I'm going to go with the final polish. I know that seemed kind of fast, but it seems like we also have half the distance that we have to go. So again, don't think that I am trying to cheat anyone in any way, shape, or form. Again, this is just a stage one paint correction. I'll put wax on this after I polish it, of course, but maybe I'll put wax on each one of these to see which one kind of gives a better shine, and we'll kind of go from there. Again, get lint, please, on your shirt. It's very little, but at least it's some. So when I can pull this off, it's not grabbing that paint and trying to rip it off. But yeah, so again, let me write down what this was. So this was V36 with a white pad. With a white pad. So getting less aggressive, but kind of flattening out those valleys. So we create those valleys with compound, and then because the grain of it is this big, if we're looking at it real microscopic, it's this big, so we're giving it scratches basically and getting rid of that old material. And then what we're doing is we're coming back in with the next polish, which is going to fill in but not cut that deep. So it's going to constantly take off, and so it's going to be like this. And then as we come in again, it's going to be little bumps like this. So we're going to constantly be taking those, we create a valley in compound, and then we get rid of the mountains basically. And I'll write all this down and kind of show you, and you know, go from there. It's a little bit easier to explain on everything and show as I explain it. All right, guys, we're at our last little bit here. We're gonna go with black pad. It is super soft to the touch. The orange pad compared to this one is like real kind of aggressive. You can kind of feel how grainy and how stiff it is. This one's very, very soft. I don't think it's going to do anything to this anymore. I don't think it's going to give us a polish. I don't think it's going to give us a deeper shine or anything. At the same time, I'm going to go with optical grade final polish, which again is going to be a higher number but a lower grit. It's this grit size per square inch is what it really comes out to. But yeah, so this is going to be probably not do anything. It might do it on camera, but we're going to show you at the end of all the difference in each level, per angle, per things like that, and we're going to work our way that way. All right, well, let's get this on the road. Let me shake this up because it's been sitting for a little bit. Again, each time we go to a different material, you guys are more than welcome to do the same thing I do. This one's literally nothing. In the 32 especially, you can feel like there's sand in it. This is like skin lotion. I mean, I could probably rub this in and it's not gonna hurt my hands in any way, shape, or form. But I am gonna get in front of the camera. Sorry, I'm trying to be better at not being in front of the camera. But I am gonna be in front of it. This should take me only one big pass, and grind in a little bit more, take a little bit more time. Back and forth, up, down, watch your edges, so you don't burn through the edges. And we'll go from there. All right, guys, so you can tell, I mean, maybe not on camera, this pad is like really almost a gray. It's kind of like a weird kind of color, but you can see that the front of it is real dark. If I rub my finger on it, it'll actually leave some of the material still on it. So we're still taking off material, which is a good sign because it means that we're actually taking stuff off. Okay, I'm gonna grab a new towel, of course. With the new towel, I am gonna still use the window cleaner, you know, just to get to a bare, you know, we're all trying to make this as easy as possible for us. And let's see how we did. Again, it's taking off very little material. I don't see any difference between, you know, this is also because stage one paint kind of likes to have a little bit more aggressiveness, a little bit more heat. And I feel like this car has been painted multiple times because there's this really, really dark green. And that's not the holly green, because if you kind of, and I'll kind of show you on camera, the holly green is kind of this like bluish kind of green. But I'm going to tape this off, and I'm going to angle the camera to where I think you'll get the best view, if I can get it to you. So I'm going to try to show you guys what I see. Again, it's a curse. I'm not trying to make anybody's life any more miserable than it is. I'm gonna just basically tape this off, just like this. Again, I rubbed it on my shirt. Get some of that lint on there. Okay, so now we have done V38, which is the final optical polish, which, you know, works very, very well with a black pad. What that means is basically it's a very, very, very soft pad. It's the softest pad in the kit that I buy, that I use every day on paint with clear coats and stuff like that. It works fantastic. That paint is very, I always say soft. It's not really soft, but it's, you want to get, it's the best clarity into it, type of thing. All of them feel, this one of course feels a little bit smoother than the rest. I am going to re-wipe this down because it throws material when you're polishing. It doesn't just stay in the pad, it flings it everywhere. So I just want you guys to understand that it's, you know, baby steps on what you want to do. I'm going to grab my camera and I'm going to see which one. They all kind of look the same. They feel different. That's one thing that I wish, smell-o-vision and things like that. But yeah, so let me grab the camera and kind of go from there, and we'll kind of walk around and have fun with that. All right, guys, so I'm going to start with this one right here. This is the V32, which is the compound. I do not want to go to the edge. As you can see, it's different from here to here. You can kind of see the shimmer and how the shimmer kind of fades away. This is the UFO light that's above me. I am not going to show you my UFO light. It will probably ruin the camera. But I want to show you the difference between the V32 with the orange pad. It is a circle. I want you to see that. It is a circle. And then as I come along, as I come down, you can kind of see it come along the body line. And of course, it's going to give you two different reflections. One is going to be, because it's curved, so it's convex, not concave. So it's going to give us two from there. So it's going to give that weird image. And then, of course, here is V34 with an orange pad. Orange pad is going to be the same aggressiveness. You can see that the clarity of it is a little bit different. It's a little bit more crisp of a circle. Go back and forth. It's not too much difference. It's just a smaller pinpoint of a light. You can kind of see not the center circle, but the outside circle kind of goes smaller. It's a little bit more defined. Again, this is what I see. So from 32 to 34, it's a little bit cleaner and a little bit finer. Mind you, you have only compounded once, and now you have hybrid compound. I'm going to go through this again. I'm going to come through this angle. The angle's going to come out and see the cleanliness of it. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit smaller. Just to show you guys that different paint. It's smoother than this. Not by much. It's kind of hard to tell just because you can see all the pitting in here. It's not the greatest. It's old paint. It's, you know, old ranch truck. Okay, moving over to 36. You can see that the center is a little bit defined, a little bit more in certain areas, not in the whole thing. You know, and this is what I was talking about on striping. See how this piece is darker here than it is here. This is a dark strip. This is a dark strip. So as I move, so you can see the dark strip goes lighter, darker, lighter. What that does is it gives this tiger stripe effect. That tiger stripe effect is more paint was here, not here, not here, more paint here. So again, this is 36 with a white pad, so not too aggressive. But if I go from 36 to 34, 34 looks better to me, or almost the same. I don't know why 34 looks better. I think it just looks better because the white haze is smaller. So there's 36, and it's just a tad smaller for that 36. But I'm going to walk you through this again. Down, I see the reflection, a little bit better. And we'll go from there. So again, that was 36 white pad. Here's 38. This is final polish. This is not a hybrid. This is pure polish. Again, you're going to be able to see, you know, the reflection pretty well in the light. Again, it's not the best. That haze, you know, single stage paint, you know, just kind of hides all that. There's no real way to show, but you know, here's the reflection. Again, this is the difference between the 38, which is final, 38 with a black pad, which is final for even clear coated paint. But when you come over to this side, you can't even see the light. The light is just fuzzy. I mean, it's bad. You know what I mean? You can't even see the circle of where the light is. And trust me, you can kind of see it there, but it's completely different. You know, here's a little bit of that before and after. And you'll kind of get that as I walk around, you know. But this is all just to kind of show you guys, like, you know, 34 to me is a little bit cleaner. I'm trying to see if I can find it to where the light reflection can give us, you know, a spot in our light, but I don't think it will. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes once it's done, wax it. Be done with it. I think I'm gonna try to wax these guys, these lower squares, and see if that helps out. Remember those valleys that we create, we're trying to fill it in and give that material a chance to, you know, shine better. Okay guys, so I added blacklight. Blacklight is a glaze. It's just going to be more of a shine. I want to try to show you as much shine as possible. Again, 32 orange pad. Here's a little before, a little after of putting that on, and I am going to put wax on it again. I'm going to go over to 34. Here it is before without being touched by blacklight. And then coming off, it's a little bit smoother, nothing too crazy. Okay, we're going to go over to 36. Here is the non-blacklight side. And here is the other side. Again, nothing too crazy. It's still shiny, but it's smoother too because it's filling in all those valleys and making it grow good. 38, non-blacklight. Blacklight side. Again, very minute. 38, 36. Nothing really. Just looks like orange peel just because of all the pits in it. 36 to 34. Nothing really crazy. 34 to 32. Again, nothing too crazy. I'm going to add wax to these now, and I'm going to see how that helps, if it helps. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so I'm going to knock this off, or remove the wax off of it. I'm going to remove it on all of them so you guys can kind of see if the there's any change. Again, I'm still taking off material. You kind of see that my towel's turning a little green, my hand is a mess, and you know, kind of going from there. So if you look, I'm just gonna go all the way across. So here's 32 orange pad before black light and wax, and after. Again, not much. It's the haze around it has kind of disappeared. I don't know if you can kind of see that. See how the haze is big, haze is small. Haze is big, haze is small. Okay, orange with an I'm sorry, 34 with an orange pad. There's the before, kind of a haze. Smaller haze. Let's see if we can get it over here. Almost no haze on this darker green. This isn't the original green. The original green is this guy. It's kind of a blue almost, but that's the original. This is the top one, and then this is the hidden one underneath. So again, 34, not bad. Okay, let's go to 36. Before wax and black light, after wax and black light. It's nice and shiny still. 38 with a black pad. So this is 36 with a white pad. 38 with a black pad. Before black light and everything. After. So again, the before and after is totally different. You know what I mean? It's compared to what we started with and what we ended with. You can even see this is unpolished. It's cleaned, but it's unpolished, so there's no shimmer to this in any way, shape, or form. It's rough. You can hear it. Okay, here, the tape. The tape is what's making the noise. And you could do this with a plastic bag. You put your hand inside a plastic bag, like a grocery bag, and you can hear, and the plastic bag will actually make the material because it's getting caught. But with the tape, you can kind of hear the difference. So it's good, but you know, it's way better than what it was. You know what I mean? So, you guys, so this is the little last part. Sorry for the wind. If I have to voice over, I'll have to voice over. I just wanted to show you guys the different stages that I do. Of course, we didn't wax any of these and anything like that. These are black light, which is a glaze, a paint glaze, and wax. They're a lot smoother than up here. They're just, but it's old paint. You're not going to get it 100%. To get it 100% is to wet sand it all the way down to, you know, where there's no lips or anything, and then clear coat it. And then once you clear coat, then, you know, wet sand it to where it's flat again, clear coat it again, and just back and forth until it's dead flat. But then it looks old, but it's new clear coat on top, basically. All right, guys, so here's the side that I did. Nice and clean. And then here's the other side. Same concept, different paint, of course. You can tell the color difference. And yeah, that is what's going on with this thing. It's smooth, clean, of course. You know, the front end is a darker green, and then it goes to, which I thought was the ranch color. I think it's the same. That looks a lot lighter than that. Yeah, that looks almost like a lime. Maybe it's because it's got a white or a gray base underneath it, or the tan base underneath it. And this has more of the brown or, you know, rust or whatever. But yeah, you know, of course it's faded. It's an old truck. It sits out in the sun. But yeah, you guys go. All done. All ready to go. And I'll be doing more. Thank you guys for watching. You know, please don't just let your car sit in the garage. Go drive it around. Make sure the oil's removed. You know, clean your vehicle. Go drive it, and then repeat. Thank you guys.